Hi, this is Jane Lambert. Hi, this is Jane Lambert. I can see that Facebook have been having a little play around, so let's just hope that this is working. I'm going to speak to you today following the slight change in shutdown and lockdown and whatever else you wish to call it. Just because some people are fueled by the drama of the last few days, the last few weeks, doesn't mean you have to attend the performance. And by that I mean you can feel upset by what you're reading, but you don't have to take everything on board. You can watch something and you don't have to take everything on board. By that, I'm not talking about the death of George Floyd. I'm talking about the way people are reacting. And by that, I mean the way that they're reacting towards the police in this country, because that to me is totally wrong. Whether or not this is as an effect partly on what has happened as far as the relaxing of the lockdown is starting to affect people. Some people are telling me they feel almost quite wounded by it all, and that might sound like a really silly way of seeing it, but actually it's not, because I want you to ask yourself, what is it that you're getting so upset about now at the moment? A lot of people are scared to speak their truth. They're really, really worried about saying that they feel bothered about going back to work, saying that they feel worried about their children returning to school. And I've had people say that it's actually affecting their self-worth. So they're actually putting up with toxic behaviour from other people. Some people are still seeking external validation. You'll see it yourself on your Facebook page, your Twitter page, on Instagram. People are still waiting and waiting for everything to come up. Just so that, hi Michelle, just so that they can actually say something to somebody about it. They can show a response. Hi Danielle, if Gavin's with you, hi Gavin. Don't be a people pleaser. Don't apologise for who you are, and don't you let their negative self-talk get to you. You have to do what feels right for you in the situation we're in at the moment. And it's not easy for everybody. So what can you do as an alternative to feeling how some people want you to feel? Do not be afraid to honour your truth. And know your worth. Set loving boundaries for yourself. Feel internal validation. If you can sit there hand on heart and say, I know I'm doing the best that I can do under the circumstances today, you don't have to worry about anything else. If, as we're trying to do as part of Inspire, you can inspire others to shine, that's brilliant. I really hope that works. And live unapologetically. Speak gently and kindly to yourself. If your best friend was feeling like you are now, you would not give her the hard time or him the hard time that you're actually giving yourself. Remember, we can't stop people thinking what they want to think about us, about the situation outside, and that's their business. What somebody thinks about me is their business. And you cannot reverse past mistakes. So if there's something, morning Sam, if there's something that you're feeling quite uncomfortable about at the moment, all you can do is learn from your past mistakes. You can't go back with a massive eraser and rub it out and start all over again. And remember, you are allowed to express yourself. It's okay not to have control over everything. A lot of my clients are still suffering from quite a lot of anxiety because they feel that they are out of control. They are in control of what they are doing. From when you get up in the morning, whether you're getting up to an alarm or whether you're not, whatever it is, you can do this. You can have a good day irrespective of what somebody else thinks. And sometimes we have to walk away from situations. Hi, Karen. And we have to tell ourselves that we've done what we can do. And maybe in the past, all of your life was focused around the money that you could earn. It was maybe about the title that you got in work. It could have been about your salary or your status. But if lockdown has taught most people anything, it's that actually they aren't the things that matter. What really matters at this moment is our health, our mental health, our friends and our family. Not in that particular order. You'll have your own order. But that is what is really mattering to people now. It doesn't matter anymore how big your house is or whether you're wearing designer clothes and designer shoes, you carry a designer bag. It doesn't matter what car you drive, not anymore. What matters is, are you living in a healthy way? Are you looking after yourself both physically and mentally? Are you getting the help and support you need? As a counsellor, I have never missed a counselling session myself, and I've never missed a supervision session. I have one straight after the other. It's always worked for my supervisor for us to work that way. With that in mind, what are you doing to support yourself and your mental health? To me, it's my mental wealth. Yes, it's a part of my work, but how I'm feeling can have an effect on what I think and what I say and what I do. So I have to feel in a good way, not just for the work I'm doing through Inspire, but for the work I'm doing outside of Inspire, for the clients I've already got, for the plans I'm making for when I can be doing massage and Reiki again. So I want you to think about the way that this has affected you. Look back at the past 9 weeks. How far have you come? What's been good for you? Is it that you're eating healthier? You're cooking more? Is it that you've got to spend time with loved ones? Perhaps you're spending more time with your children than you've ever been able to spend? Is it that you have realised that actually you could get away with working fewer hours because you can do your job in a shorter length of time? All of these can be attainable when we return to whatever this new normal that everybody's talking about will be. At the moment, we still don't know. We know that from 8 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock at night, the things that the government tells us can alter. And we all know that there's one rule for them and one rule for everybody else. So you can only focus on yourself. You know that your happiness is your responsibility. You are responsible for how you feel. So don't give that power to somebody else. Take it back. And as women, we do like to have some control over situations, just like men do, but it's not always possible for us. So what I would say is, think about how you are responding, and it will be based on your core beliefs and your values. And only by you taking yourself down the path that you make for yourself are you going to get to the place that truly matters to you. Life is about having some peace, not having a piece of something. And think about goals that you set weeks back. Then was it just about getting through the first week? We thought it was only going to be for 2 or 3 weeks, although I did say at the time I could see the end of June coming and not very much being different. And unfortunately, it is looking that way. But what was your expectations? And have you looked at this as a time of opportunity for you to change the way you want to live? Have you looked at this as a time for reassessing the boundaries that you live by? Are you realizing that actually you do have limitless potential? Most parents tell their children, you can do anything if you really try. But actually they don't live like that themselves. So children are actually being given contradictory information, being told you can do this, but actually I can't. It's too difficult for me. So what do you say to your children? This has been one heck of a massive cycle of change for everybody. So think about how you've coped. What were your thoughts a few weeks back? How do you feel about things now? Are you behaving any differently? Even yesterday when I spoke to a friend of mine, she said the news, the media is still affecting her. 9 weeks of daily figures, and even for a statistician, and I don't know if I'm saying that properly, but there we go, you'll know what I mean. Even for somebody dealing every day in statistics, are all of these figures we're being fed true? And truly, we don't know. So don't let them upset you. When you get yourself into a mood, you know that you're there, and only you can get yourself there. People can help you, but actually it's all down to you. So what you're going to do about it. And when it's me, I think, right, what's the matter with me at the minute? Where's this come from? What have I been thinking about? What's happened that's made me feel this way? If I feel it physically in my body, I ask myself where it is. And sometimes it can almost be, okay, what's it teaching me? What have I got to learn from this? So if that is it with you, remember at Inspire, we are a group who came together from all over the country to help people and offer our services for free. And that's what we've done. And for most of us, it's not just sitting in front of a computer or in front of a phone for 30 minutes. We have to do quite a lot of prep for this. So as a group, I'd like us to help each other. And I have personally been helping several people in the group who've been having their funk days. And as a group of people on this planet, let's try our best over the next week to not add unnecessary stress to our lives and to each other's lives. Sometimes it's about biting your tongue and not saying what you think, irrespective of who it is and just how much you want to say it. Sometimes we have to learn to walk away from an argument because an argument will lead to more anger. We have to walk away from pleasing people who never see your worth. Don't be somebody who buys friendship. Don't be somebody who buys presents just so somebody in the family will like you. That's not going to change their opinion of you. Actually, all it does is make you look like a pushover. And I, for one, am not going to be playing that game anymore. Anything that undermines your peace of mind is not doing you any good. So it's time to stand up for yourself. Anything that poisons your soul has to go. Anything. So instead of all the hatred that we're seeing across the media at the moment, it's time to learn to love. It's time to believe in justice and fairness for everyone. That's irrespective of race, of skin colour, of creed. Treat me right and I'll treat you right. I've got friends of every skin colour ever made, and they're all treated exactly the same because we treat each other with love and respect. And to me, it's as immaterial as what religious beliefs they have, what religious practices they take. I'm interested to learn about people, just the same as I'm interested to know what sort of music somebody likes, what colours they like to wear, what are their thoughts on bringing up a family, having pets. I believe in justice and fairness for all, irrespective of race, of sexual orientation or anything else. If someone doesn't meet your expectations, what do? Don't punish them. Is that really fair? What that will do, it'll flood your mind with a negative thought. So I want you to really start thinking about how you can handle yourself over the next few weeks. I still think for many children, it's going to be many weeks before they return to school. If you're getting angry with your kids, how is it manifesting itself? Are you having to take a lot of deep breaths? Is it that the minute your partner walks into the house, you foist the children on him or her and you're out the door? Are you taking the exercise that you're allowed, even if it's just that you get out for a 15-20 minute walk by yourself? Do you take your anger inward and then you become aggressive, and it can even lead to depression? So think about how it's manifesting itself within your body. Sometimes we're angry about something that's quite immaterial, really, but it doesn't stop us feeling that way. So I want you to feel better about yourselves this week. People will always find fault with us, but actually, that's fine. We can't be all things to all people. And nobody will love you all the time. People don't love you if they disapprove of what you do. They might want to possess you, or they might think that love is the language that they're using, but we know that it's not. So let's look at how you're handling stress. And you know that there are 12 ways to beat the stress that you are still going through, just like everybody else at the moment. And it's about getting smart. Like we've talked about, the flexible working, if that's something that's working brilliantly for you, see if it's something that can be incorporated into your working day when you do return to the workplace. If you've promised yourself 9 weeks ago that you were going to use this time to get organised, you haven't done it, go to one room, start with one drawer, one cupboard, start with your wardrobe. If you need help sorting out your wardrobe, why not contact Sarah Marston Shreve? She's our image consultant here on Inspire, and she'd only be too happy to help you. Share the load with people in your household. It doesn't matter what it is. If kids can play with toys, they're big enough to put some of them away again. Don't be afraid to say no sometimes, whoever asks you. And if you still feel uncomfortable about saying that word, remember that brilliant phrase. Unfortunately, that's not possible. They hear no, but you haven't actually said it. If you've been worried about something the last 9-10 weeks and you still haven't made an appointment to go and see your doctor, make that call. Don't use this time to dodge the GP. And don't be a martyr. If you feel like you're being taken for granted by your family at the moment, ask yourself why. Are you bending over backwards to keep the kids sweet, to keep your partner sweet? Are you trying everything and nothing's working? You can eat right. You can get outside. You can keep moving. We can't go on holiday at the moment, but we can plan another one. And don't forget your friends. We are allowed now to meet in back gardens at a 2-metre social distance, and we can see our friends again. Not over screens, which is adequate, but face to face in real life. All of this will help you handle everything that's going off in your life. All of it. And in the midst of the change that we're still going through at the moment, what originally felt uncomfortable to you will actually be coming to feel quite familiar. Anxiety still will weigh heavy for you, but during our worst times, we do feel it here on the chest. And actually, because it's there and it feels like it's pressing on us, it can feel quite exhausting. And it's inevitable that we are going to go through change regularly. It's going to happen throughout your life, so you can't dodge it. But what can you do? And one of the first things is accept it. Everything changes, even you. Our bodies alter as we get older. Our interests in our everyday life, our preferences can alter. Our emotions, everything changes, just like seasons. And we've gone from boiling hot weather to yesterday it was cold and wet. So we have to prepare our minds and our hearts for when more change comes. If you fight it, it's just going to make you really sad, really low. How about learning to embrace it instead? You can do that. Then we need to learn to show appreciation for what we've got, instead of always feeling a sense of loss and regret for what we can't do. I heard somebody talking the other day about, in their words, the poor kids who can't meet up. These poor kids are being kept alive. So instead of thinking about the sense of loss and regret, there will be other summers if we keep them safe. We don't have to drown our sorrows in our emotions. So let's be grateful if we've still got our health at the moment. And if we can find that gratefulness in ourselves, it's much easier to close that chapter of our lives where we did feel regret and move on. If you're having problems doing this, if you're having problems coping at the moment, contact me. You can either get me through Inspire Fitness Academy or through my company, A New Dawn Training. I'm Jane Lambert. I'm back again next Monday at 8 p.m. and I hope you have the best weekend. Thank you. Bye.